In this video, I'm going to share with you guys how to backtest using Playback. This is something that can really accelerate a trader's progress because we can practice when the market is closed. Now, before we look at the Playback feature and how I actually use it, let's take a journey back on how most traders will backtest. Well, in this example, I'm going to bring to you guys a very simple concept, and that is going to be just look at the center line, treat it like a moving average or whatever. If it's blue, we're looking to be bullish. If it's white, we're looking to do nothing. And magenta, we're looking to be on the sell side. Now, I'm going to make this very simple for a very simple rule so you guys can follow along during this backtest process. So in the event the line is blue, we close below it. As soon as the next candle closes above it, I will then look to buy the market. Now, what most traders will do, they'll scroll back in time real quick and they'll simply backtest it like that. They'll be like, all right, I would have got in here and I would have closed way down here. Or they're looking at it right here. I would have got in right here and I would have held it until we got back above where that line was, the trigger line that initially got us into the trade. However, there's a lot of emotions that go on in between all these candles wiggling up and down. Also, if you're looking to increase your trading size on trades, you want to be familiar with the big numbers moving up and down. All right, so now let's talk about the playhead. The playhead is going to be a feature within NinjaTrader where if we hit play, we'll see the markets starting to move and we can change the speed by right here. If you want the candles to do a 1-to-1 speed, since each one of these candles are 5 minutes in time, I simply hit play and each candle will take 5 minutes in order to plot. However, I'm going to speed this up here just a little bit. And what I'm looking for right now for the market to go ahead and do, I'm waiting for a candle to close above this magenta line. So I know that next candle is going to be right here, closing at 8:20 a.m. in the morning. So I can speed that up, waiting until we get a little bit closer towards that price point. All right, there we go. Well, the candle still did not close above the line. So I go ahead and hit play once again. Now I am going to speed this up here just a little bit. All right, now we got a candle that closed above it. So now the next criteria that I need, I got to wait for a candle to close below the trigger line right here. Simply hit play. And I know this candle is not going to close until 8:30. As we get closer to 8:30, I'll simply hit the pause button real quick. That way I can slow down the tape a little bit. And let's see, where is this candle actually going to go ahead and close? Now we got about 30 seconds until the candle actually closes. I can speed this up a little bit and still kind of manage, the time right here, along with what I'm looking at on the price chart. All right, there we go. The candle has now closed. Well, look, did the candle close below our line? Absolutely not. So we have to wait at least another 5 minutes. Now, depending on your strategy, it could be a little bit different. And if you guys want to see me backtest an order flow strategy in a future video, go ahead and leave it in the comment section down below. Also, something else that this is very good for, when you want to go ahead and backtest or you want to work on your speed in the market, guess what? You can trade at a faster speed than 1.0, and that will help your reaction time. Now, notice we are now getting ready to plot a new candle. Let me just hit play one more time. Let me drop that down to 1-to-1. There we go. We get a new candle. Did we close below that price point? Yes. Well, now we got to think about how do we want to enter the market? In our backtest, we say, yeah, I get in right there. Well, you got to keep in mind that there'll also be slippage in the market. If I simply hit sell market, you can see we're right here. It's just the S&P has a very tight bid ask. But where do we put our stop loss? Well, guess what? I can take the stop loss and move it. Now, in this case, I want to go ahead and move it just above the trigger candle. And I can just simply play keep away with this. Now, there's a couple different ways I can look to manage this. One, I can look to take multiple positions. Two, I can look to maybe get out at a 2-to-1 reward to risk ratio. And that would be very easy to plot as well. I can just grab my Fibonacci tool and just simply do something like this. And I can put this target right here at a 2-to-1 reward to risk ratio. Now, if we go ahead and hit play, I want you guys to pay attention. Right up here, we'll see the profit and loss actually move up and down. Now, I am going to speed this up here just a bit, but notice we'll actually get a chance to see. Now I'm down $37 and you'll get a chance to feel, how much pain are you actually going to take on the trade? Because when we simply mark it off on the chart, we don't take into consideration how much were we actually down. Were we down enough to where it made us feel uncomfortable? And if you want to get used to seeing bigger numbers move on the screen, well, guess what? Playback is a perfect environment to go ahead and do that on. And the reason for that is any money lost is simply fake money. We do not get to keep any money that is made during this process. Let me go ahead and remove the fib real quick, and there you go. Bada bing, bada boom. We got our 2-to-1 reward to risk ratio. However, was that really a good trade? We can see we're able to secure $450 in a simulated environment. Keep in mind, fake money, I cannot withdraw this money. I cannot spend that money. We go ahead and hit play, and notice as I go ahead and I speed up the tape a little bit, let's just see how low does this actually go? Because when we look at what we would have done when we were talking about, potentially marking off certain, entry point to exit point, we always like to think that we would have got out at the very best spot. But where is the best spot? Look at the candles as they are currently moving. Are you trailing the line? Are you getting out once we get back above it? Or are you getting out once we push too far away from the moving average? Now, this is all things that we can practice in the playback environment. When you think about when we just simply said, all right, I would have got in here. Yeah, I would have got out there. I could have made a potential 33 points. However, we're not taking into consideration some of the pullbacks coming against us. And is it pulling back enough to where we start to get nervous and we don't want to see our profits slip away? Now, what else is also pretty cool about this, once you get done with your trading session, you can pull up the performance report and you can see right here, we only did one trade. We made $450 in this simulated environment. It'll also give us our win-loss ratio. Also, it'll show us our average winning trade versus our average losing trade. If you guys have been around the block for any amount of time, you know it's important. We want to see larger winning trades versus losing trades. Also, you can see maximum consecutive winners, maximum consecutive losses, your largest win, largest loss, and it'll even break down and say, if you can continue to trade like this, how much could you make per month? Right here, it's telling me I'd make roughly $13,000 if I was able to do this each and every day in the market. But with trading, we know there are losses as well. Now, before we go ahead and rewind and retrade this strategy once again, if you already have a trading strategy that gives you an edge in the market, then you might want to check out Take Profit Trader right now, 40% off all evaluation accounts. Best yet, zero activation fee. Use the link in the description box down below. Use code epitome at checkout. Now, if I want to rewind this back, I want to go back roughly to where we entered that trade right over in here. So I'm going to rewind this back to about 8:30. One, I can just simply move the playhead, or I can right click right here where it says go to. Then under time, I'm just going to go ahead and change that roughly to about 8:30 in the morning. Go ahead and hit OK. All right, so now I went ahead and stopped it as soon as we plotted the new candle. This is where we originally entered the market. Well, now we have a couple different ways we can play this. Let's now go ahead and try this with 2 contracts. And now I'm going to put the stop loss in the same place. But what if we went ahead and went with that 2-to-1 reward to risk ratio for target number 1, and then we practice on trying to be able to hold out a runner type of trade. So in this example, target number 1 would be right down here at the 200% level, which is a 1-to-1 reward to risk ratio. Then on the second contract, I'm just going to simply play keep away. It essentially comes back and closes back above it. Now, once we go ahead and we get target 1 knocked off, which we do know it will hit because we've already played this section of the chart out once, we can then go ahead and we're going to move our stop loss to break even. Now, notice I have this on 100 times speed, and I keep going between 100 and 500 times speed. That way I can get through the data much, much quicker. So let me go ahead and speed this back up. I'm going to put it on 500 times speed. And as soon as one of the targets are hit, I will then go ahead. I'm going to move the stop loss to break even. All right. Now I can put the stop loss at break even plus a tick. Now notice each one of these candles are 5 minutes in time. Now I'm going to simply keep my finger on the close button. As soon as I see a candle close above the magenta line, there we go. I went ahead and closed it out. Bada bing, bada boom. Now look at the difference in the P&L this time around. This time we made $1,162.50. But keep in mind, this time we had double the contracts, but was it still better? And the simple answer is yes. How do we know? Well, even if we had 2 contracts on the first method, we times that by 2, that would have only been $900. Now, once you have a strategy where you like to enter, you don't want to just practice on scaling out your first time. You want to keep practicing this over and over and see, are you the type of trader that once you see the momentum push down here, you want to get out and you want to pay attention to the numbers that are actually moving. And as you see the big numbers either win or lose, how does that make you feel inside? Is that something you'll be able to implement in a live trading account or in a prop trading account? Now, if you guys would like to learn more about the playback feature, how to set it up, how to download data in the different data types, then make sure to watch this next video right here.